What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Sorry I'm late. We ran over on the other side. We're going to do these back to back. What's up, French Kiss? What's up, DG? What's up, China White? Y'all come on in. I just played the short intro. People are getting here. When they get in here, honey, because I gotta get out of here. I gotta finish doing this and get on the other side. Get to my parents' house. So, Belle Collective. So we just gonna go ahead and rename this episode Tamber Tries to Save Her Job. Can we just rename this episode Tamber Tries to Save Her Job? Because we have never, in the history of Belle Collective, minus maybe one episode in season one. I remember one episode in season one where we saw Tamber talking to the guy from the Ricky Smiley show. Y'all know who I'm talking about. And she was talking about trying to expand her career and getting into hosting and that kind of stuff. That is the only time we have ever seen this much of Tamber. Baby, damn near this whole episode was Tamber. And I feel like this was Tamber trying to save her little check, okay? Trying to save her little check. Because we started this episode off, Tamber is giving us a little more information about her dad, which, again, y'all know I criticized her earlier on for not giving us a little more information. So she gave us a little more information. She says she has actually moved in to her parents' house so she can help her mom. It looks like her dad is home from the rehab facility. We see that he is walking with a walker. And she said, you know, that they still don't have a definitive answer on what happened. They initially thought it was a stroke, but they're still not 100% sure. However, he has been diagnosed with dementia. And so that, again, my thoughts and prayers, hugs go out to Tamber and her family because it's never an easy thing. So I understand, you know, again, and I'm not saying she got to give us updates on his doctor's appointments, but yes, we're vested in the story. So then Latrice comes over and brings her flowers and they have a conversation. And let's be clear, I 100% believe that her and Latrice are friends in real life. I believe they talk when the cameras aren't rolling. I believe they spend time together. I believe they do things together. I believe they are really, truly friends in real life. Latrice is telling Tamber about her thyroid situation and having to have the surgery. And Tamber opens up like, look, girl, you know, I went through this. I had this surgery 3 times, you know, thank God I froze my embryos because it got to the point where, you know, getting pregnant was going to be a problem. She said that Latrice talked about them wanting to give her a hysterectomy. And she was like, don't you do it. You advocate for yourself. You tell them that's not what you want. You tell them. And again, I told you guys, most women have gone through this, especially Black women. So I've been through this. I had those conversations. And y'all know I ended up having a partial hysterectomy. Because my situation was just, it had advanced really, really far. So this was a great moment. This was a great conversation. Then they got into the bullshit. They started talking about what had happened at the feedback, the focus group. And they got to talking about this whole conversation with Mike and the baby. And I told y'all last week how I felt about it. And I don't. Halfpin, you must be Catholic. You was late for church during the last live and you already out of church. Girl, you must be Catholic. You know, I grew up Catholic. I know how Catholics do, honey. Even on Easter, I know how we do. We be in and out. Honey. Then again, I was on that other live like an hour and a half. So maybe, you know, maybe. So, Methodist. Okay. Y'all right underneath us when it comes to time and, you know, getting out of church. Y'all right underneath us. So with that being said, I don't really care nothing about this Mike storyline because I told y'all before, somebody posted under a public picture that was on Instagram and we are literally having a conversation. And I noticed how they kept saying, who brought it to the collective? They kept saying, who brought it to the collective? Who brought it to the collective, because what they're trying to insinuate or what they're trying to do is make it seem like, yeah, the outside noise is the outside noise, but who brought it inside of the group? Child, it was still out there for public consumption. Everybody saw it and everybody probably had something to say. Like, girl, stop, bye. Like, they all probably had something to say about it. So I'm not interested in none. I don't care. I just feel like we're talking about something that's a non-factor. It's a non-starter. Then Tamber says, these ladies really act like they don't know me. I guess it's time, for me to I guess it's time for me to reintroduce myself to the group. I guess it's time for me to let the group know who I am. You mean production told you need to do this? You mean production said don't nobody know who you are? We don't know you as a person. We don't know anything about your private life. You mean production said you need to reintroduce yourself? Because, girl, don't nobody care. I'm just saying. Then we get this scene with Leticia and Glenn. Y'all, I done already told y'all. Leticia is not leaving that man. Leticia is not going nowhere. And I really feel like her and Glenn be paying in our face. And to be honest with you, I'm no longer vested in this. First is over on TikTok clowning y'all. When I say y'all, I mean production. He over on TikTok talking about I guess I'm still on a leave of absence. He took a picture from a pool. He looked like he had a resort somewhere sitting in the pool with a blue sky talking about I'm still on my leave of absence. Like, it's a whole clown show. He takes Leticia out for a spa day. She talking about we're doing better, and I really appreciate him trying to put this time in. And Glenn is talking about, they having this conversation. So she starts talking about her focus group, and he says, well, who was at the focus group? So she starts telling him who was at the focus group, and he was like, so it was first. She said, well, first, I told you I put him on a leave of absence. He wasn't there. The minute she said leave of absence, baby, he get an attitude. His whole face changes. And she was like, what? What's the problem? What you mean? What's wrong? And he was like, what you mean a leave of absence? He need to be fired. And Leticia was like, what you mean he need to be fired? He need to be fired. And she was like, well, who gonna be my manager? Me. I need to be your manager. I should be your manager. She was like, how you gonna be my manager? Do you even know what a manager does? He was just stone faced. When she said, do you even know what a manager does? Baby, he was just stone faced like. Well, I mean, I just feel like, this would be a way for us to spend more time together, and who gonna look out for your best interest more than I am? I'm gonna look out for your best interest. I'm the one that really care about you. Like, I should be the one that you should be. And at this point, like I said, I don't even know how much of this is real versus how much of it's fake, but it's all stupid. Real or fake, it's stupid. It's just dumb. And then he was like, man, see what I'm saying? No matter what I do, look at what I did. I brought you here. I'm giving you this, this experience and everything. And you still just won't do right. What you mean won't do right? You mean do what she wants you to do. It ain't do right. It's do what she wants you, what you want her to do. Excuse me. V. Spencer said, you quit your job, so Ty out even making without even making accommodations for your family to have health care. Manager, you want to manage me, Negro, please. Right. Right, he talking about some look around. Sir, you booked a couple's massage at a spa. Let's be clear. That don't take no whole lot of thought and effort. All you asked for was the couple special. So they put a little bottle of cheap champagne in the little waiting room. They put y'all in a waiting room by yourself so y'all could be there together and change it to your little robes and stuff. So let's not act like you did something. You booked a couple's massage at a spa and you probably add a little $20 to the package so they would put a little champagne in your room. Like, come on now. Been there, done that. It ain't that complicated. Ain't that hard. And you probably didn't even do that. Production probably did that. Anyway, quiet as kept and loud as it is. Moving right along. So then, the next thing we see Leticia meeting up with Selena. First of all, Selena is complaining about her wedding and how, first of all, she tells us she's going to Colombia to get some new teeth. I'm not mad at her. I just saw with my girl, attorney Simone Redwine. She just went down to, it wasn't Colombia, but it was another country down in that area. When she went and got her some dental work done. Listen, it's cheaper down there. Contrary to popular belief, don't let them fool y'all into thinking that there aren't any qualified doctors in these other countries. Absolutely, there are, and it's cheaper. Now you still got to do your due diligence. You still got to do your research. You still got to make sure that the doctor you're going to is legit. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a lot of flukes down there, just like there are flukes up here in the United States. You still got to do your due diligence. But let's be clear, going to other countries to get medical procedures done is not uncommon. And people do it all the time, and it's cheaper. Okay, so I ain't mad at you, Selena. Do you, boo? Do you? Then she starts complaining about her wedding party and how they're not doing this, and she got so much on her plate. And now Leticia wasn't wrong when she said, baby, your maid of honor is supposed to be handling all of that. My brother drove to Mexico last year, $400 for a $2,500 job in the United States. Yeah. It ain't, listen, people do it all the time and it's cheaper. I know people who've gone, I think Simone went to Turkey to get a nose job last year. I know other people who've gone overseas to get medical procedures done. I'm not talking about just BBLs and stuff. I mean like real medical procedures because it's cheaper. Now you still have to have the money to be able to recover if you have to, stay at a hotel and like certain things you still have to, make sure you factor in, but the procedure itself is usually cheaper. So, and like I said, Leticia wasn't wrong. Leticia said, listen, your maid of honor is supposed to be doing all of this stuff. The stuff you're talking about is stuff that shouldn't even be on your plate. Bachelorette party, you shouldn't be doing all of that. And then they let us know that Leticia, they did a flashback and showed that at her birthday party, she gave out packages to let people know who were going to be at her bridal party. And she's got 9 people in her bridal party. She's going to be in her bridal party. And of course, Marie and Leticia are not one of them, but she picked, Latrice, her and Latrice are friends in real life, and Tamber, which I guess her and Tamber are friends in real life. Then they start talking about this mic situation. And once again, I don't care about it. However, I did think this conversation was a little bit interesting because Selena was upset because she felt like if Leticia was her friend, Leticia would have come to her and told her about the rumor. A rumor that you already knew about. A rumor that the lady posted underneath a picture that for public consumption that I'm sure 5,000 people was in your DMs and told you about. You mean that rumor? So Latrice told you about the rumor. Tamber probably told you about the rumor. Your daughters who be all over social media probably told you about the rumor. And Marie even said something about the rumor. But you mad because Leticia didn't say something? A rumor that you say isn't true. A rumor that you don't believe. A rumor that you're not entertaining. But you're mad because she didn't mention it? That's what we're doing here? See, y'all just be getting mad about the wrong shit. You understand Selena's point? I would understand Selena's point if it wasn't something that was something out there for the public. I understand she's saying, as my friend, I feel like you need to come to me. Her point is they gossiping but smiling in her face. But other people from the group did tell her. I hear what you're saying, though. I do understand her point, I think, here's the thing. I think her point was valid. I think this example is a bad example, in my opinion. If this were something that were like, that was rumored out there, that people was gossiping, like, I get it. But that's not what this was. This wasn't something that the people were behind her back gossiping about. This was something that was literally out there for public consumption that everybody saw, that 4 or 5 other people already came to her about. You see what I'm saying? It definitely sounds like it was addressed off camera. So I understand what you're saying. News, New Deal News. Is it New Deal News? I like you, boo. I like that name. I understand that. I think what she wanted made sense. I just think this was a bad example because I feel like everybody already knew. Now, again, if this were a rumor where the people didn't know and it wasn't, then yeah. But I see what y'all saying. I hear what y'all are saying. I love you too, boo. I hear what you're saying though. I see your point. I do see your point. Because listen, if there's something out there and my friends don't tell me about it, then you're right. I do understand the point though. I guess I feel like this example is so. I think it's this example that's just. But I think the point of why even talk about it, well, you know they're gonna talk about it, child. You know they're gonna talk about it. But I hear what y'all are saying. Because Ravine said the same thing. I hear what y'all are saying. I hear you. You see, I'm pondering. Whenever I do, when I tilt my head to the side and I do like that, y'all know I'm pondering on what y'all saying. I'm thinking and I'm pondering on it. I hear you. Mm-hmm. That makes it even more shicey that they tried to make a topic when it was nothing. True. That's true. Now let's be clear. I ain't giving Leticia no passes because we about to get to her and this whole situation. We about to get to her in a minute because I don't give her no passes. Child, I gotta get these bat wings under control. But anyway, I ain't giving her no passes. Now, the next scene that we see is and then Leticia felt some kind of way because she felt like Selena was trying to check her. Girl, go sit down somewhere. You need to be checked. How about that? Tamber and Damon are in a car. Now, I thought her and Damon were on a date night. She said that her mom was watching her baby, and the two of them were in the car talking. Now, we usually get about one scene per season between her and Damon. So here we go with her and Damon in the car. I thought they were on date night. I said, look at them going out on a date. That's nice. Mama is watching the baby so they could go out on a date. And I thought that was really nice. I thought that was really sweet that we got a whole little date night between her and Damon. Only for us to find out it really wasn't a date night. They were actually on their way to Dr. Smooth to clear up the rumor because she was like, I don't want you to hear from anybody else. This is a rumor that's out there and I just want you to know. Girl, that's a phone call. Damon is fine. I would climb Damon. Yes, I would. But ma'am, that's a text message. That's a phone call. It's not that deep. You did not have to get your mama to watch the baby and you and Damon get in that car and drive all the way across town to go tell that man that. Again, if y'all went there after dinner as just let's stop by here on our way to dinner. We on our way for date night. We just gonna stop by here real quick and have this conversation. Okay, maybe. But ma'am, what are we doing here? Anyway, so while they're in the car on the way, she tells Damon how maybe it's time for her to have maybe it's time for her to bring the ladies around London Simone and he was like, I don't want them people around my baby. Like, I don't want them some demonic people. I don't want them around my baby. And I ain't mad at Damon. Because those women that, if they haven't met your child by now, it's a reason why. And I can understand that. But I also, like I said at the beginning of this is called Help Tamber Save Her Job. This is the Help Tamber Save Her Job episode. So, they're going to have a whole presentation. And at the end, we'll get there. We'll get there. But yeah, Tamber, girl, bye. Let me say that what I do. This episode reminded me how much Tamber's voice annoys me. And it's not even her voice, it's her cadence. It's how she talks. It annoys the fuck out of me. that the way she talks, the cadence and how she speaks, it annoys me. We saw this scene between Marie and her son. Now, we haven't seen her son since season 1, when her and her son were going through some things, and they had a really bad fight where he punched the wall. She put him out the house. I believe he was in college, and it was a whole thing with that. And so we were able to see kind of a follow-up. Now, she said he's doing a lot better. She didn't get into the details of what it is that he's doing, but she did say he's doing a lot better. And he was talking about being an entrepreneur and moving into an entrepreneurial space. Now, here's what I like. And like I said, I've told y'all before, y'all don't have to like Dr. Marie Monroe, but Marie has given us more than anybody else on this show of her authentic life. That's my opinion. What I like about the way Marie handled this conversation, she did not shoot down her son's dream. She gave him another alternative, and she gave him another point of view. He said he wants to open up a dispensary. Now, the first thing I thought about when he said he wanted to open up a dispensary was, your mom has built multiple businesses off of helping people get off of drugs. And I know that some people make a difference between weed and amphetamine and meth, and all that. I know people make a difference, but drugs are drugs that are drugs, right? Your mother has these like she said, a multi-million-dollar business off of helping people get off of drugs and helping them stay off of drugs. And her son wants to open up a dispensary. That's the first thing I thought about, right? Now, but what I love is that Marie didn't shoot it down. Marie said, I tell you what are you going to use for capital? Have you thought about all of the A's, the B's, the C's, and the D's that go into this? Have you put all of that into thought? How about let's look at it like this? And then she proceeds to give an alternative conversation. And she says, listen, why not come and work for me? Let me teach you the business. You're going to inherit this one day. I am building these businesses up to create generational wealth for my family, which means that this is going to be yours one day. That is the intent. Why not come work for me? Let me teach you the business. And then you sort of have your own, maybe, I'll put you in charge of one of the homes or help you open up your own starter house type situation. Why not do that rather than open up but she said, listen, I don't want you to think I'm shooting down your dreams. If you want to open up a dispensary, let's figure out how to make that happen. But why not do it this way? And I like that she didn't just say, what? Why would you do that? Your mama, your grandmama, and da-da-da-da-da. Like, I love that she didn't do that to him. She didn't kill his dream. She gave him an alternative to reach. Because I think the goal is he wants to be a business owner. He wants to make a lot of money, right? That's the goal. Well, why not tap into this business that already exists, that you have access to be in an ownership position that makes a lot of money. I liked it. And like I said, Marie's son can have a branch, right? He can have a branch of his own business. And again, she didn't say, don't do it. She just said, let's look at a different way of getting it done. Because again, I think ultimately he just wants to make money. Now, does he probably smoke a little weed? Probably. But I think he probably just wants to, make it happen. So I did like that moment. I like that scene. Again, I like that we seeing the son. We haven't seen him since season 1. Now, she is still raising his children. But I'm going to be honest with you. I would rather them be with Marie where they're being taken care of than the alternative, they be in a situation where they're not being taken care of. Again, unfortunately, a lot of grandparents end up raising their grandkids. And at least with Marie, we know that they're in a good place. We know that they're being protected. We know that they're, being loved. You know what I'm saying? Really B, you remember Jessica Dime, Soldier Boy and them on Marriage Boot Camp when they told them they had to stop smoking weed? Child, they about lost their mind when they couldn't smoke no weed. Yeah. Again, when I say we, I mean as a society, we downplay weed like it's not, but it's a drug. It's an addiction. Just like alcohol is an addiction. Just like food can be an addiction. For me, food is an addiction. I eat food. You know, I'm learning, but we eat food to, you know, and some of us are more addicted than others. Some of us can't go a day without eating such and such and such. Some of us got to, you know what I mean? It's an addiction. Now, some of these addictions are worse than others on how they affect you, but it's an addiction. That's an addiction. That's an addiction, right? And I think a lot of times we try to downplay weed, but it is an addiction. And it is a gateway drug for some people. Some people, I've seen people who literally, like you said, matter of fact, I ain't gonna tell no names, but on this last cruise, and it wasn't any of the tribe members that y'all see drop down in the chat. So don't try to start trying to figure out who it was. It's not one of the tribe members that dropped down in the chat, but it was somebody that was around us. I'll just put it that way. It was somebody that was around us on the cruise who literally was losing their mind because they didn't have no weed. When I say losing their mind, I mean they were literally losing their mind. I mean, they bought a hook. I mean, not a hookah, you know, a little pen, a little vape, and that wasn't good enough. That wasn't getting them where they needed to be, and they literally were losing their mind. I smelled weed on the cruise, and I was like, "Now y'all know good and damn well if they catch y'all, they're gonna put y'all up off this ship. They're gonna put y'all up off this ship if they catch." I smelled it when I went out on my balcony. One of my neighbors was smoking, and I was like, they catch it. So for some people, they willing to take it. They willing to risk it all. We willing to risk it all for some weed. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, weed is weed is weed. But anyway, so I just thought that was a good scene. I thought it was a good scene. Next, we see Leticia and Carrie going out on a double date. Nikki crazy. Okay. I lost my train of thought. Sorry, y'all. They went out on this double date, and it was cute. Again, it was a cute scene. I you know, sometimes filler scenes irritate me. Sometimes filler scenes I think are cute. This was a cute little filler scene where you had them going out on a double date. But here's the thing, Leticia, Carrie was giving you some good shit, and you were mad. One, you were mad because you were like, how dare this newbie come in here and try to get me together? And two, you were mad because you were guilty and you knew what you had done was dirty. So what I'm talking about is, what I'm talking about is Carrie was telling her basically what she did with Tamber was messy, that Shantae is messy, and whenever Shantae come around, Shantae brings messiness. Which she wasn't wrong. She wasn't wrong about nothing she said. But you didn't like it because it was coming from Carrie. Talking about some, Carrie, you don't get to tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. Who are you? You don't get to check me. But I don't think she was checking you. I think she was trying to let you know, girl, this is why people don't trust you. This is why people don't really F with you like that. Because you do messy stuff like the Shantae. And she was like, well, I'm damned if I do and I'm damned. Because Selena tried to tell your ass too. And she was like, well, I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. Because if I hadn't said something, people would have been like, well, you knew and you didn't say nothing. Nobody would have said that. Nobody would have said that. I promise you. Nobody, let me say it one more time for the people in the back. Nobody would have said that. I promise. I promise. Full stop. Nobody would have said that, girl. Anyway, moving right along, because Shantae messy, and Shantae's, I told y'all before why Shantae's there. Shantae's only reason for being there. Shantae's only reason for being there is because last season, Leticia got mad because Latrice got Amanda on the show, tried to block Amanda from being on the show, and so she brought her own thing around, right? Hurt people, hurt people. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Now, last scene we have is Tamber giving the people This Is Your Life moment. Y'all remember the old show, This Is Your Life, where they would show all of the different things. They would have people's old teachers and old neighbors come in and talk about the people and say great things about them and have all the old pictures. Girl, she was giving us a whole tour of This is the life of Tamber and Cherie. I thought it was cute. I mean, again, this is classic reality TV show. Do I think she could have done a better job of it? Yes, I do. I think there was I think you could have blown up more of the pictures to take up more of the white space on the wall. You had these little pictures in this big old mural. Girl, the same way you blew up your wedding shower, your baby shower picture, which was probably done for the baby shower, and your other thing. Girl, you should have went down to the we don't even, Lord, I was about to age myself. I was about to say Kinko's shower. We ain't got Kinko's no more. Went down to the Staples and took them pictures, sent them down to the Staples and had them pictures blown up to take up more of the wall space. But I thought it was cute. You know, we saw your cheerleading uniform and, you know, I thought it was cute. You know, it was, you know, back down memory lane. I thought it was cute. Then at the end, you present to us London Simone. Let me tell y'all something. That was cute. That was cute. You had the fireworks going. You had the fog machine. Baby girl rolled in there in her Maserati with her fur coat on and her sunglasses and her tailfar crossbody. It was cute. It was so cute. Do you hear me? And then she slid them sunglasses off her face. Like, who came to see me? Who came to see me? It was cute. And I don't even care if it was edited. I don't care how many times they had to film it. I don't care. It was cute. It was cute. Kim said, and we got to see Damon again. So after it was over with, the ladies got to talk a little bit. So first we see the ladies talking about trying to get Marie hooked up. And Marie tells the ladies, look, because they tried to say, what about women? And she said, listen, I'm not interested in women. She said, listen, when I was young, you know, I had a threesome once upon a time. And I let a woman go down on me. I didn't go down on her, but I let a woman go down on me. And I ain't like it. You know, it didn't do nothing. I ain't like it. So I know I don't want to be with a woman because I done been there and done that. And I ain't like it. And let me tell y'all something. I love how Marie was like, listen, I'm not ashamed of nothing that I did. If I did it, I did it. And I'm telling you, I did it. I'm not ashamed of it. Because, of course, the minute she said a threesome, they was all like, oh, Child, half the people in that room done had a threesome. And I'm not saying you have to tell people your private business. I'm not saying you have to tell people. But let's stop shaming people for being sexually open to different experiences. Okay? Don't be shaming people for being open to different experiences. I loved it. Maria was like, yeah, I tried it. I ain't like it. We need more music breaks. You know what's funny? Y'all know I don't think I can sing. And I'm not even saying that to be funny. My brother can, well, he's passed away now. But my brother could sing. And my sister can sing. I was always the one that couldn't sing. So every time I do that and y'all think I can sing, I'll be like, oh, thank you. Because I've never felt like I could sing. I still don't. I think I sound better than I used to. I feel like, I don't know. But thank you, boo. But thank you. Or the man had a threesome without them while they was married. Child. Threesomes are too much damn work. Now whose leg is that? I'm tired. You know what? But I just feel like, and that's just like with Christy Norm's husband. I ain't kink shaming. I just think this shit is hilarious that you had a husband that was into these kinks the whole time he was out here saying the things y'all was saying and persecuting the people y'all was persecuting. Like, baby, do your thing. Have your kink, honey. I told y'all I got friends that are into all kinds of stuff. And I ain't gonna say that I ain't never been into some stuff. But do your thing. Stand in your shit. Enjoy it, boo. Live your life. Okay. Then we see where Cliff, Leticia, Latrice, and Glenn are all together. And basically, I thought this was funny. Basically, they were Cliff and Glenn was all tap-toeing around each other. And finally, Latrice was like, just say y'all want to hang out again. Just say y'all want to hang out again. Because we know y'all want to be friends again. We know y'all want to hang out again. The only reason why they stopped hanging out together is because the wives was beefing. So I thought that was cute. I thought that was a little bit of a cute moment. So overall, I thought this was a cute episode. It definitely was very Tamber centered. And I feel like production was like tapping on Tamber like, thank you, boo. Thank you, New Deal. I feel like production was like, hey, girl, you're going to give us something or because I don't even know why she's still on this show. I mean, I don't even know how she's kept her job all these years. Because there have been some seasons where we literally do not see Tamber. But I feel like this was clearly, production has clearly said to her, you need to step up, yo. If you want to keep this little check. And I say little because I heard it ain't a lot, but it's more income than what you made. It's a little something to add on it. Okay. But that was pretty much the episode, you guys. I feel like this season is winding down. We're on episode 8. And I know Carlos said there are more than 7 episodes this season, which obviously there are, but I don't think we have too many more. It looks like next week Cliff is showing his ass as he normally does. So we'll see what happens with that. But that's pretty much that. We're about to head on over to do Love and Marriage Huntsville before I head out to go spend the evening with my family. We'll be back for Love and Real Housewives of Atlanta tonight. I can see why she's still there. They run everybody else off. That's true too. But we about to head over. I do have the redirect on. So I know it'll kick you guys over for the redirect, but I know it doesn't move everybody over. So I'm literally going to I'm ending this and hitting the start button. So like 2 minutes, I'll be over on the other side. Okay. All right. Hopefully see y'all in a minute.